What's up, you guys? It is me, Jessica, and welcome to Jessica's Journey VSG here on YouTube. So today I wanted to talk about what it's been like the entire week after VSG surgery. So I'm currently 11 days out of surgery, but I wanted to talk about days 1 through 7, my first week post-op VSG. And I really wanted to break it down day by day to let you know what I experienced. And so hopefully that can be helpful for you, if for anybody who is thinking about getting the surgery and they kind of want to know what to expect. So let's start with day 1, also known as surgery day. So surgery day, I had to be at the hospital at 6:30 a.m. My surgery was scheduled for 8. I actually had no idea what time my surgery was scheduled for. They just told me to be there at 6:30. I will say they were on it. So my surgeon is Dr. Lee Schmidt with Alabama Weight Loss Surgery here in Birmingham, Alabama. I actually had surgery at St. Vincent's East in the outpatient surgery center. So I'm actually planning on doing a whole video talking about getting VSG outpatient, because that's very different from what most people do. I guess I should go ahead and say too, I am private pay, so I paid out of pocket for my surgery. I did not go through insurance. I got to the hospital, they were super quick getting me ready and everything, but after my surgery, I just remember feeling sick, feeling nauseous. And I remember the nurses and everything were telling me before surgery, nausea is very common for the surgery, whatever. More than anything, I was expecting gas pain, because I've had my gallbladder removed before, and that was some of the worst pain of my life. Was recovering from gallbladder surgery was the gas pain. I thought I was dying. So that is what I was nervous about. That is what I prayed to not have. I didn't think about nausea because I hadn't heard anybody talk about it. Y'all, I was so nauseous from the time that I woke up. I remember one of my first memories, I asked the person that came with me for my surgery, I said, "What time is it?" And she was like, "It's 10:30. So I guess they were pretty quick with my surgery, because I was already in recovery for an hour before I had seen my friend. So, I was so, oh gosh, you guys, I was so nauseous. I left the hospital about 2:30, I think, went to my hotel room that was right down the street. From the time that I was in the hospital, throwing up, I would go back to sleep. When they were wheeling me out for my friend to pick me up, throwing up. From the time I got to the hotel, I was just, all I wanted to do was sleep. I was also so sleepy, which anesthesia, it does make me pretty sleepy, but this time I was so much more sleepy than I had been before. I think it was because of the nausea medicine that they were giving me, which was Zofran. And I still to this day do not know why I was so sick to my stomach. Was it the Zofran? Was it the anesthesia? Was it just the surgery itself? I don't know. But y'all, when I say I was probably sicker than I've ever been in my life, and I've had quite a few stomach viruses where I thought I was dying. I thought I was dying. I thought I have a leak. Like, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was worried about, because I was so sick from the time I got to my hotel, which was around 2:30. I would throw up every 15 to 30 minutes. And in between, I would take a little nap, I'd wake up, throw up, and then I had to walk every hour. So I would walk up and down the hallway with my little puke baggie. I would try to throw up before I would walk. Like, I really had it down to a routine. I would wake up, throw up, go walk, try to take a sip or a bite of ice chips, try to doze back off, throw up. That, I literally was throwing up every 15 to 30 minutes all night long. I felt so bad, for my friend that stayed with me in the hotel room, because I was throwing up every 15 to 30 minutes all night long. I was so miserable. And two, my face was like as red as this pillow. I'm not kidding. Like, I've never seen my face and neck and chest so red before after I would throw up. And then I remember there were moments, and by the way, I had nothing in my stomach, nothing. So it was dry heaving. And I remember I would try to like just chug some Gatorade or water or whatever, just to have something to throw up. And then it got to the point to where I would wake up because I was so nauseous, but I couldn't throw up. So I would just stick my finger in the back of my throat just so I could get something up, just to be able to go back to sleep for like 15 or 30 minutes. It was miserable. I was like, that's it, I'm dying, whatever. Okay. So day 2, I woke up, I had an appointment at 8:15 in the morning, went to my surgeon's office for him to just check me out, make sure everything was okay. I told him, I'm like, I'm sick, I am sick. One of my good friends strongly felt like it was probably the Zofran, because Zofran makes her like super nauseous and sick. I've actually had a few people tell me that. So he actually gave me a injection of Phenergan and a steroid in the office. They made me sit there for like 15 minutes, sip on some water, because I was like, I can't keep anything down. So they wanted to make sure that I could keep that down. And they were like, if you're feeling good in 15 minutes, you can leave. So I did, in that moment, think that I was feeling pretty good. But honestly, I just wanted to go to sleep. I was so tired from not being able to rest the day before. So I was like trying to doze off. And all I wanted to do was lay down. That's another thing. They were trying to get me to sit up. They wanted me to sit up after the surgery, the day of the surgery, to help with gas pains. Well, I wasn't having any gas pains. I just was so nauseous and was so tired, and all I wanted to do was lay down. So I was ready to get out of there, honestly. So I just left, and I was like, okay, I'm feeling pretty good. I had to go pick up my prescription for the Phenergan to take it home. I got home, I slept. Throughout the day, I was fine. I don't think I threw up throughout the day, but most of the day I just slept. I was so tired. I really don't remember most of the day, but hindsight, it was probably all the Phenergan, because Phenergan knocks me out. So that night, I started getting really sick again, and I had a friend over here to watch me, and I just remember her like being on the phone with her boyfriend, and I would run to the bathroom and just throw my guts up. And I was just thinking, wow, this is embarrassing. I hope he isn't too scared. He's probably like, dang, that chick is really dying in there. But so kind of the same thing. Like, I wasn't throwing up as frequently, and I definitely did sleep better that night, but I would still wake up every so often and throw up. Now, something that I noticed day 2, throughout the night, I would try to use the bathroom. I would try to urinate. Nothing would come out. And every time I would try to take a sip of something, I would try to take my medications that they told me about, it would come right back up. And I was like, I'm really worried. This is not normal. This can't be normal. And then throughout the night, that night, I was running a low-grade fever, super low grade. It wasn't even anything that my surgeon was worried about, but I could just tell. I know me, I know my body. I could tell I had a little bit of a fever. So Saturday morning, so day 3 was a Saturday morning. I woke up, I had my aunt and uncle who live about an hour and 15 minutes away. They were going to come and get me and take me to their house just to watch me for a few days, because my roommate went out of town. And when they got here that morning, I said, y'all, I need to call my surgeon. I'm not feeling good. they gave me this card that's called the Bariatric Help Card. And it's like, if you have some of these symptoms, contact your surgeon right away. Some of the symptoms was low-grade fever, unable to urinate, nausea, vomiting, whatever. So I was like, well, I have all of those, so let me call my surgeon. At first I was like, is it really that serious? But I was like, I'd rather be safe than sorry. So I called him. He was on call, of course. I mean, it's a Saturday, so the office is closed and everything. And he was like, you need to go to the emergency room of the hospital that you had the surgery, and we're gonna get you some fluids and we're gonna get you some nausea medication. So that's what we did. Went to the emergency room, and they gave me 2 bags of saline at the same time, and they also gave me some nausea medicine and another steroid. I just kind of slept as it was dripping. My surgeon did come see me, and I was like, is this normal? And he was like, no, this is not normal. I only have to visit patients in the ER maybe once a year. I was like, what? So I'm here once a year? Like, because I really didn't know what I thought. But let me tell y'all what. Side note, I'm a part of these Facebook groups and stuff like that where people have had the surgeries and they talk about their experiences. And whenever I was deciding how long to take off work, I seen people where they were posting how long they took off work. People were saying they got surgery on a Wednesday and went back to work on a Friday. And I'm like, what? Like, or 5 days, even 5 days. We'll get there. We're only on day 3, but we'll get there. But I'm like, I am in the hospital again. Anyway, so I get all the fluids. I'm feeling better. They give me, once I get everything down, they gave me a shot of Phenergan again. And then they wanted me to take, they called it the super nausea pill. I don't remember what it's called, but they wanted me to take an actual pill and keep down some liquids before they would let me go. So I was able to do that. I got released, I think around 1 or 2 o'clock. I went in at 9:30 and was released about 1 or 2 o'clock. My aunt and uncle took me back to their place, and honestly, for the rest of the day, I felt okay. I wasn't throwing up. I wasn't in a lot of pain, and that's something I want to note too. I never had any kind of like internal pain as far as like where my incisions are or where they took my stomach out. I really never had a lot of pain. So, and then up to this point, again, I didn't have gas pains either. So for the rest of Saturday, I actually felt pretty decent. Sunday or day 4, we can call it. So the soreness started to set in. So it was hard for me to like get around just because my abdominal muscles were so sore, and I was really weak that day. I was really, really weak. As far as medications, they had me crush up this pill that's like a pretty big size pill. They wanted me to crush it up, mix it with a little bit of water, and take a spoonful 4 times a day to help coat the lining of my stomach and help with healing and things like that. Well, on Sunday or day 4, I went to go crush it up. I did not have the strength to crush it up. I was trying and trying and trying, and I couldn't get it. And then all of a sudden, I just like broke down crying. And this is when the reality of everything hit me. I was like, what have I done to myself? I made a mistake. I can't walk around. I can't even crush up a pill. And I like to think of myself as a pretty strong person. I will talk about my experience in another video of my workout history and things like that. But I regularly exercise. I lift heavy weights, and I can't even crush a pill. And so I got really depressed that day. I had to like just give myself a little pity party, sit there and cry. And I felt so alone. Like nobody knows what I'm going through. And even the people that have had this surgery that I follow on YouTube, follow on Instagram, and people in the community on Facebook, nobody is talking about the things that I'm going through. Everybody is talking about how easy it was. And here I am, I'm having a really hard time. And so I felt so alone. I felt like I was on an island all by myself and nobody knew what I was going through. And I just felt like crap. Like I can't even put my finger on what it is. I just felt like crap. And this day too, I will note, I got heartburn really bad. Nothing was making my heartburn better. I would try to drink. It's not been, so prior to surgery, I loved water, preferred room temperature water. I would drink ice cold water or refrigerated temperature water, like when it's hot outside, but most of the time I prefer room temperature water. After surgery, I've had a hard time drinking plain water. So I would prefer to drink the Gatorades and to make sure that I'm getting all the electrolytes and everything. But it was giving me heartburn so bad that I couldn't drink it. Was eating Tums in between, crushing up the peel and using that to help with heartburn, because that would help with heartburn for a few minutes, but then it would come back after like 30 minutes or so. And so I was just really struggling with that. I was struggling with the emotional aspect of it. That day was a really hard day. Day 5 was a Monday. I woke up instantly feeling better. I definitely had a lot of people praying for me, and I really feel like that made a huge difference as far as the emotional part of it. And then I also had a good friend of mine come and pick me up. She's like, let me get you out of the house, because I was at my aunt and uncle's house out in the country, hardly any cell phone reception, just out there by myself. So she was like, let me take you out. And she just kind of drove me around. She ran a few errands. I stayed in the car. She took me to her house, and it was good to just be able to get out of the house. I still was pretty sore this day, but overall I felt much better physically and emotionally. About 4 o'clock, the gas pain started to set in. Y'all, I thought that I got out of gas pains, because up until this point, I didn't have any gas pains. I was like, oh, this is great. This is great. Well, it hit me day 4. I felt it in my sternum in the front, and then I felt it like in between my shoulder blades on my back. And it was just, it's like a pressure, but at the same time, it's like a stabbing pain. If you've ever had this kind of gas pains, you know exactly how it feels. If you haven't, there's nothing better to describe it than it feels like somebody's stabbing you. Like it hurts so bad. So we went back to my aunt and uncle's house, and I just like laid on the couch and was trying to position in a way to where it wasn't hurting. I got a heating pad to put on my back. That helped relax the muscles a little bit. It helped me feel a little bit better. But all throughout the night, my gas pains was pretty bad. I did call my surgeon, because this was a Monday. I did call my surgeon's office that morning, and they sent in a prescription for like Prilosec or Nexium or whatever, that kind of pill to help with the heartburn. So I started taking it that day, and since that day, my heartburn has been gone, and I haven't had any symptoms of heartburn. So day 6 was a Tuesday. I felt much better, and I thought I was ready to go home, but everybody was a little concerned about me, so they didn't want me to go home. So I ended up staying another day at my aunt and uncle's house. As far as energy on this day, up until this point, I had the most energy this day. I was walking laps around my aunt and uncle's house. I just felt better. I felt like myself again, but the gas pains were there pretty much all day. They had gotten a little bit better from the day before, but they were still very much so there, and they didn't feel good. Oh, this was also the day that I went on my full liquid diet. So prior to this, I was on clear liquids. And I'll just go ahead and tell you, all that I drank was water and Gatorade Zeros. I tried chicken broth. Not a fan. I drank so much chicken broth in my pre-op liquid diet that I loved it in my pre-op liquid diet. For some reason, after my surgery, I guess my taste buds have changed. Couldn't finish it. It was disgusting to me. So I just drank Gatorade and water and was barely able to drink enough of that. And I didn't want anything. I was like, I had no appetite for anything, so I was fine with that. On day 6, I was actually able to go on my full liquid diet, meaning I could incorporate protein shakes and soups, creamy based soups and things like that. So in that morning, I had a chocolate Premier Protein, and it was so delicious. Like, it was so good. Now I'm sick of them because I've had so many. But that morning, I just remember it was just like, it was delicious. I poured it into a glass and it just tastes better than it ever had before. And then that night, I had my aunt make me some cream of potato soup. She strained out all of the chunks of potato, and it was like the best thing I'd ever had. I will say, I did end up consuming a little bit too much, so it was really like uncomfortable. And that was the first time that my eyes were bigger than my stomach. So I felt like I could, like whenever I was like pouring it into the bowl, I thought I was going to be able to consume more for some reason, and then I only ended up being able to consume like 4 ounces, which is normal. But it was weird. Like, it was weird. That's all I can say. But it was delicious. Okay, so day 7, this was Wednesday. I felt even better than the day before, and at this point I was like, okay, I really am ready to go home. So I did. I packed my stuff up. I drove about an hour and 15 minutes home. I stopped at Starbucks and got a coffee. I barely was able to drink any of it, but this was my first time having caffeine since the surgery. I just felt like myself again. I definitely didn't have a ton of energy. And then later on that day, I did end up getting a little nauseous, and I had to take a Phenergan, and then I was like knocked out for the rest of the evening. But for the most part, I actually felt really good that day. I was like, oh, it's so good to be home, be in my room. And that's about it. The next day, I woke up. The next day's Thursday, so I did have my surgery on a Thursday. The next day, I woke up really excited because at that point, I could tell, I'm like, oh, I've lost weight. I can see it in my face. My face is always the first place that the weight goes on me. I was like, I can see it on my face. I'm kind of digging this. So I got on the scale. I lost 12.4 pounds in a week from the time I had surgery. And at that point, I had lost 22 pounds from my heaviest weight. So I was really excited. I was so just like, wow, okay, great. I'm glad that I have made this decision to have this surgery, because many times in the week leading up to it, I'm like, I don't know. I think I made a mistake. I mean, it doesn't matter because you can't reverse it, but you know, I'm like, did I make the right decision? But at that point I was like, thank God. Like, I feel like I'm getting back to myself. I don't know why I lost so much weight in the first week. I feel like most people don't lose that much. I'm not really sure. Maybe me being so sick had something to do with it. I also am very curious to just see how my first month is, how much weight I lose, because I did have a good bit of muscle built up on me. I've been working out for about a year, very consistently lifting weights prior to surgery. So I wonder if maybe the muscle mass that I had, and now that I'm actually in a very big caloric deficit, does that have something to do with me dropping weight so fast? I don't know. We'll see. Stay tuned. Only time will tell. I am weighing myself only once a week for the first month, and then after that I'm going to weigh myself once a month. I'm going to try to. I'm probably going to have to put my scale up because I can be very... In my past, I've had a very restrictive and then binge cycle, and I can get very obsessed with the scale and get very obsessed with restriction and that kind of thing, and I don't want to get back into that mindset. The goal of this surgery is to be normal in the end. So there's no reason to weigh yourself more than once a month. I mean, just to make sure that you're on track, which, as long as you're doing what you're supposed to do, I don't know how you won't be. And I'm sure that there will be times, especially when I hit that 1 month mark and I start incorporating real foods back into my diet, I'm sure the scale's gonna go up, and I don't want to see that. So it's just not productive. So that's what I plan on doing. But this first month, I am gonna weigh myself every week, and then after that, every month. So that recaps every single day in my first week post-op. Now I just want to go over a couple talking points that I feel like were significant. So first thing is the liquid diet and how that has been. Honestly, I hadn't been that bad. Like, I've been on a liquid diet since September 21st, I think, and today is October 12th. So I've been on it for a hot minute, y'all. So at this point, I'm like, whatever. And like I said, the first few days after surgery, I didn't want anything. So the clear liquid diet thing did not bother me. There have been days where my appetite has been like through the roof, and then the next day I'll like have no appetite. So those days where my appetite has been up, it's definitely been a little bit more challenging just because I am around real food now. I'm around my friends who are eating, but I will say, you guys, it has not been as hard as I thought it was going to be. I really thought I was going to struggle hard, and thank God I haven't. I just haven't, because I have, through this process, I have continuously told myself, this is temporary. This is not permanent. This is a season. You're going to get through it. And I've just been like, okay. And honestly, that's huge for me, because this whole past year, I've had like no self-control. So to have this amount of self-control and be okay with it, it is what it is. And I have no choice. Like, I've been telling myself, it's not like my pre-op liquid diet where I could still eat whatever I want. Like, physically, I could still eat whatever I want. I have no consequences in that. But now I really can't. So there's no option. There's no, why am I even thinking about it? Because I can't do it. I will get so sick. And I was so sick the first 2 days. I ain't trying to go back there, okay? So I'm just like, it is what it is. I'll be able to eat that food in a month or so. And that's what I've been telling myself too. It's like, in my mind, I'm not restricting anything. Even though I know that I'm not just going to be out here eating fast food like I used to, in my mind, I'm telling myself, when I see somebody eat, like last night I was around a friend who was eating lasagna. I'm telling myself, one a month, Jess, you can eat that. And that, whether I eat it or not, I probably won't, but whether I eat it or not, I'm not saying, oh, I'm never going to be able to eat that again. That is the wrong mindset to have. When everything is allowed, I feel like you don't want it as bad, because you know you can have it. Maybe not now, but eventually. So that has been my experience with that. I pray that it continues to carry on this way throughout every phase of introducing things back into my diet. This Thursday, I get to incorporate soft foods. I'm really excited about that. Y'all, I'm so excited about mashed potatoes. I don't know what to do with myself, but like for real, I'm so excited about mashed potatoes. And then I have to eat soft foods for 2 weeks, and then I can go into my semi-regular diet. But I'm just taking it a step at a time. I'm not trying to look too far ahead and really focus on it too much, because that's not where I am now. I'm trying to live in the moment, take it day by day, and eventually I'm going to get there and I'm going to be fine. So that has been that. One thing that's been hard since surgery is getting down all of my medications. I have to take a blood thinner morning and night. I now have to take my heartburn medication in the morning, and then I have that pill that coats my stomach. I have to crush that up and consume that 4 times a day. And then, oh yeah, I forgot to add this earlier. On day 6, I believe, whenever I got back home, I realized I had thrush. Yeah, thrush. You know, yeast infection in your mouth thing that babies get. Yeah, well, I had that. And I was like really confused. Like my tongue was just white and fuzzy. And I was like, what is this? What's something else? You know, all of these things have happened since surgery. I'm like, God, just had another thing on there. So I have to drink this liquid that tastes like cough syrup flavored like bananas. It's awful. I have to drink that 4 times a day too. Swish it around, drink it. I hate the taste of it so much, so I've been trying to like eat a popsicle afterwards to get rid of the taste. But anyways, with the medications, the one that I have to crush up, I have to wait 15 minutes before and 15 minutes after before I can drink anything. So that's just been really hard between that and having to wait 30 minutes after I drink a protein shake or after I eat a little bit of yogurt or something like that. I'm sorry, 30 minutes before and 30 minutes after. It's like I am struggling to get all of my grams of protein in and all of my ounces of fluids in and all my medications in. That has been a full-time job, okay? I am going back to work tomorrow, and it'll almost be 2 weeks, not quite, 12 days, but I don't know how I'm going to do it at work, because like literally that's all I think about all day. It's like, okay, did I get this in? Did I get this in? So that's the only thing that's been pretty difficult in regards to medications and stuff. And then the other thing I've noticed is just the gas pains when I swallow water. When I have tried to drink it out of a bottle, they say no drinking out of a bottle, but there have been times where I just try to position my mouth in a way to where it's not going to gulp, you know, and I'm not going to get too much air in. But it's been annoying to get like that. It feels tight. It feels like you're swallowing a rock or something in your chest when you drink too fast or when you like gulp. That's so annoying to me. Y'all, I used to drink like a gallon of water a day, for real. Like I used to chug water all day, and that's been really hard for me because I've stayed thirsty. I think that has something to do with thrush too, but I've stayed thirsty. So that's been difficult. I pray one day I will be able to drink water like a normal person, but we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So guys, that is all of my notes that I have. And that has been my first week post-op. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you found it helpful. And I hope that if you get this surgery, that you do not have to go through what I went through. I hope that I am the exception. I hope that I am the once in a year, you know. I hope that you don't have to go through that, and that your first week post-op will be very different from mine and will be much better than mine. But I did want to tell the world what I went through, just in case somebody does have to go through it. maybe you could take something away from this video. So anyways, I love you guys, and I hope that you have a blessed day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.